Hey fam, I hope you're all having a great week, a great day. Before we get into today, we're going to talk about carbohydrates, but before we get into that, I have a huge favor to ask you guys. What is, or post any questions that you have. I had trouble this morning figuring out what I was going to talk about. Um, and I thought I was going to, I asked I ended up asking ChatGPT. Well, I'm babbling. I apologize. Let me start over. I need you guys to let me know what questions you have, and so these chats or these lives can be value add to you. Usually, I have a topic that's come up with my own team. This week I didn't, and I decided I would do a day in the life, and tell you guys what I ate, what I do. And I thought, I don't think people really care about that. And so I asked ChatGPT, what's the biggest or what's the most common nutrition question? And one that came up was carbohydrates, and are they good or bad? And so I thought, oh, that's interesting. I will address that. But again, I would really like you guys to let me know what would help you on your journey. Okay, so first of all, no, carbohydrates are not bad. We all need carbohydrates. We need them for fuel. We help for recovery. They'll help you perform better. Um, they'll reduce your cortisol. So if you're high stress, they'll bring that cortisol level down. And that's why carbohydrates are mandatory post workout, particularly if you did a strength workout. Definitely need carbs in your post workout meal. And probably 2 meals after your workout if it was really strenuous. Um, so I think we know, but some carbs are, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? I don't like to label food as bad. I like to think of it on the pendulum, right? So on the not so good for us are like donuts and cakes, bagels, that kind of thing, cookies. And the reason they're not good for us is they're highly refined, right? They're usually made with white flour. White flour's been stripped of most of the nutrients, and refined sugar, white sugar, again, they're highly refined. So you're getting a lot of calories with very little nutritional value. And it can lead to cravings because your body wants those minerals and vitamins. It's not getting it from the cookie. And so you still feel hungry. And sometimes you go back to the cookie and it's not helping. And then on the really good for us, what we need: sweet potatoes, oats, whole grain bread. Now, when you buy your bread, you guys, you should be able to see the seeds and the nuts and the grains, even. Like the white bread, very little nutritional value. Even whole wheat, if you look at the labels, sometimes the whole wheat has more sugar than the white, and I think it's because they're trying to make the whole wheat taste good. But whole grain, oh, it's amazing, right? Sometimes there's cranberries in there and everything. It's so good. Rice is good for you, berries, squash. Oh, if you're interested in a list of carbohydrates that are unrefined and high in nutrients and vitamins, let me know. I'll give you the list. And in the middle, I'm struggling to find one actually. I thought maybe protein bars, because often they call them protein bars, but if you check the label, often, most of the time, there's more carbohydrates in them than protein. That's why they taste so good. And so that could be like a middle of the road carbohydrate source. So, why does this matter? Or why does blood sugar matter? So I'm going to explain a little bit what happens when we eat the carbs. And this is maybe why they get a bad rap. So you eat the carbs, and it tells the pancreas to release insulin. And so the insulin triggers the cells to uptake that glucose. Oh, so you've eaten the carbohydrate, the body turns that into glucose and puts it in the bloodstream. The insulin tells the cells to uptake that insulin as energy, and it will use it immediately as energy. The problem comes when you're sitting on the couch just chilling. It's going to store that for later. And it often stores it in the muscles and the liver. So, and think of the muscles as like a static container. So once your muscles are full, the body will store it in fat cells. And here's the thing: the muscle tissue is static. The fat cells are unlimited. So if you're not working out, doing your strength training, and you're eating those refined carbs, that is what is creating more fat cells in the body because your muscles are full. The body creates fat cells to store this glucose. Eventually, the blood sugar levels go down, and that triggers the body to release glycagon. And that will signal the body to release glucose back into the bloodstream for more energy. Now, if you're eating a lot of carbohydrates, say every hour, every 2 hours, and you're eating a lot of refined carbohydrates, that cycle just continues, and it causes the body not to respond to the insulin like it should. It starts ignoring it. Kind of like that nagging kid, right? Mom, 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 mom. Oh, that's just Johnny. I'm not going to deal with him. I got to do whatever. So the body stops responding to the insulin, which leads to insulin resistance, which is no joke because over a long term, that can lead to type 2 diabetes. Now, if you're curious to know if there is some insulin resistance, you take your waist measurement, and for a female, it should be 34 or below. If you're above 34, that's an indication that there could be some insulin resistance going on. Which brings us into how much carbohydrates we should be eating. And that depends on your body type. So there's basically 3 body types. Think lean bodies like Coach Britt, Coach Charity, longer limb, think marathon runner. Okay, they typically have a higher metabolism and do really well with more carbohydrate. Because they're burning more energy. So we're going to fuel that. Like if I had a client with that stature or body type, I might even reduce their protein and make it up in carbohydrate. Then there's the mesomorph, which are more like athletic, put on muscle very easy, look athletic, look muscular. They have like a moderate amount of carbohydrate. Like myself, although I tend to go lower, I feel better with lower. 35% of my calories are probably from carbohydrate, but I do toggle back and forth. And then you've got the endomorph, and they tend to be stockier people, rounder. They typically put on fat easily because their metabolism, their energy levels tend to run slower or lower. They typically do better with less carbohydrate. And according to PN, like their standard for endomorphs, people who are trying to lose fat, go 25% of their calories. That's a quarter of your calories in carbohydrate. That's hard to hit, honestly. It really gives you like carbs after your workout, and that's it for the rest of the day. What did I want to say? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I was talking about Oh yeah, also people with PCOS, insulin resistance, when PCOS is a form of insulin resistance, but they tend to do better on low carbohydrates, and it's because we're tapping into that cycle, right? And letting the body get used to and responding to insulin and not spiking it all the time. So I hope that helped somebody. Let me know if you have questions. Let me know if you have anything you'd like me to talk about next week. And I hope you guys have a great week. Everybody keep going. We're heading into phase 2 this week. Super excited. It's a wonderful experience, isn't it, you guys? This competition is just the bomb. And have a great day.